Good morning, lovelies. Happy to be here with you, jumping into lesson 86. I just want to share with you, there's such giving and receiving in this for me. It's a delight to be going over the earlier lessons again. I'm currently teaching lesson 270 was my lesson this morning that I was teaching in the other group. So it's really refreshing to be looking back. So let's take a moment. Let's drop in. Let's arrive fully here into this present moment, into the here and now. And this morning, inviting you to place your hands on your sacred holy heart. And just notice your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest and of your abdomen. Have yourself fully present for this lesson. I am here right now to receive. Just repeating those words quietly to yourself. I am here right now to receive. And then maybe this morning joining your hands in prayer. When we bring our hands together like this, we balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain, the yin and yang energy. And we come into balance. So it's a beautiful way to start. So we begin this day in gratitude. We open our hearts and we surrender to love. We ask love to lead the way through the minutes and the hours of this new day. We welcome joy, fun, and abundant prosperity. We recognize that all encounters are wholesome and that all experiences can be met with a peaceful heart that is anchored in the truth that we are one, we are love, and we are free. We release these words, and so we let it be. We continue in our review period. So today we're reviewing lesson 86. We're actually reviewing lesson 71, but our lesson is 86. Only God's plan for salvation will work. Only God's plan for freedom will work. Only God's plan for peace will work. It is senseless for me to search wildly about for salvation. So it is senseless for me to look for salvation everywhere. I have seen it in many people and in many things, but when I reached for it, it was not there. I was mistaken about where it is. I was mistaken about what it is. I will undertake no more idle seeking. Only God's plan for salvation will work, and I will rejoice because God's plan can never fail. So the plan of love can never fail. And we can be really happy in this knowing. We can celebrate this knowing that this salvation, this peace, this freedom, this ease, this grace in life is fully and always available to all of us. So there's some suggested forms that you can use. The first one is God's plan for salvation will save me from my perception of this. So when something arises that you have a limited perception about, you can take it to God and remind yourself that there is a bigger and much, much better plan than you could ever dream up in your limited vision, your limited knowing. Another example is this is no exception in God's plan for my salvation. So there are no holes in God's plan. You know, there are no mistakes. There is nothing that actually goes wrong when we surrender things to love. Everything goes right. And then the third one, let me perceive this only in the light of God's plan for salvation. So let me take this right in, hand it over to my higher self, to the divine within myself. And let me get the reinterpretation. Let me get the deeper knowing. Bring the light into this. You know, so many things we see in such a limited way, and we don't have the understanding. So we ask for that. We ask for the light to be brought into all, so we can recognize that absolutely everything is for us. Everything is full of opportunity and full of potential if we allow it to be. You know, if we remove any limitations, any boundaries, any barriers, any defenses against everything being used to awaken us to the love that we are. So we're going to sit with this one. Only love's plan for salvation will work. There's no other plan that's going to work to save us, to save this planet. And saving being to bring us right into that knowing of who we truly be, so that we can live in peace and in harmony. You know, think about harmony, like actually living harmoniously with others, with the land, with animals, with nature, because that's what we truly, truly desire, and that is available. Okay, so let's hop into our meditation with this. I love this line. I will undertake no more idle seeking. I have done a hell of a lot of idle seeking, and I'm still susceptible to it at times. Let's surrender that. You know, let's just hand it all over. So gently close your eyes down. I will mind the time and I will call you back. Only love's plan for freedom will work. When you're ready, gently bringing your awareness back. And in that meditation, I heard very clearly, let the divine intelligence within you lead the way, and you cannot go wrong. And we say it every morning in our prayer, let love lead the way. And you just follow step by step. You follow the instructions. And sometimes you'll realize that you have followed the ego, but you're going to begin to get that little twist in you. Or what is my daughter calls it the ick. You get this feeling, the ick, or you'll feel that little tap inside you going, maybe that didn't feel so good. Maybe I'll choose again. And you get to choose again with non-judgment, with love and compassion for the one that has followed the ego again. So it's a beautiful, turnaround that begins to happen when you notice and you just go, oh, okay, caught myself. Let me return to love and begin again. So the next one is holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. And this is your lesson for this evening, but we're going to take a brief look. Holding grievances is an attempt to prove that God's plan for salvation will not work. So we have these, memories, these things that we don't forgive, these things that happen that we find difficult to move through or move on from. And in a way, holding on to them is an attempt to prove, that setting everything free can't work. Yet only God's plan will work. By holding grievances, I am therefore excluding my only hope of salvation from my awareness. So my only hope of freedom is kind of blocked out from your awareness by choosing to hold on to grievances. Now, I'm not saying it's really, really easy to let things go, but you can choose. You can have that willingness. Say, I choose to release this. I choose to hand this over. I choose to make peace with this. I choose to let myself off the hook. Knowing that I made up the hook and I made up the grievance. I would no longer defeat my own best interests in this insane way. I would accept God's plan and be happy. Just be happy. Imagine gifting yourself that, the gift of happiness. And sometimes we think, holding on to things is serving a purpose, or that it's, I guess I'm thinking of that expression, that when we hold on to unforgiveness, that we think we're hurting the other person, but really we're hurting ourselves. We're keeping ourselves stuck. Anyway, there is no other person. So here's some forms. I am choosing between misperception and salvation as I look at this. So any situation, just look at it and recognize that you're choosing between misperception. The misperception is not recognizing the Christ in the other and looking at the pattern or the form that the other is showing up in. Okay, so we know always the invitation is to look beyond that. So I'm choosing between misperception and salvation, which is peace, as I look at this. So I have a choice in every situation, in every moment. Second, if I see grounds for grievances in this, I will not see the grounds for my salvation. That's really, really beautiful. So if I see grounds to hold on to this, I don't see the grounds for freedom. I don't see the grounds for my happiness. I don't see the grounds for my peace. And then the third one is this calls for salvation, not attack. So again, when you find yourself in a situation, and let's use this one for ourselves. So this calls for peace. This calls for love, not an attack on myself, not a beating myself up, not a playing with sharp-edged toys and trapping myself and holding myself prisoner. No, it calls for peace. It calls for love. It calls for kindness, for compassion, for space, for grace. So be gentle, be loving, be kind with yourselves and set yourselves free. And I will see you tomorrow on this gorgeous path to peace.